Hello and welcome to Overtime Show for Cover 2 TV. I'm Chris Pajak, Steve Hort and Tom Jennings here to review the Week 11
What's
action.
that? I do that every week, have you not noticed?
No? It's a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
Every week.
You shut up, pass.
I don't watch that. I don't watch that shit. It was generally just a bit that started when we did the little videos on my own, and it had to be done, and then someone picked up on it, so then it just carried on.
Oh, right, okay. So you don't watch Star Wars?
No, I don't watch it. Of course I watch Star Wars. I don't watch this.
Say, you said I don't watch that shit. So you've just been talking about Deadpool before we started, and that's crap.
I very much
No,
watch
it's not.
I don't know, I've not seen it.
I do watch
so
plenty of Star Wars. I've pre-booked my tickets for the next one.
Good
But
lad.
I did not, when I said I don't watch this, I meant this show. Come on in. So General, is that a thing?
It's just the two fingers, but yeah.
Ah, okay. Carry on. Just two fingers as well. Nice one. Better than one.
I've got a mate who used to use his thumb.
It's fine. Yeah,
Okay, so the games we're going to look at this week in depth are Redskins, Saints, Bills, Chargers, Rams, Vikings, Lions, Bears, and then we'll take our patented look around the league. Sorry, mate.
I helicopters and everything.
And yet he never, he uses his two fingers and starts the show.
I'll helicopter again off with two fingers.
I'll do the helicopter again. I like it, man, that's great. Well, it's all right. We're going to start with
I can
the
do another
Redskins.
helicopter. No, it's fine.
No, it's fine. We'll look at Redskins
It's cold, isn't it?
31, Saints 34, overtime victory for the New Orleans Saints, extending their winning run now to 8 games on the bounce, coming back from 15 points behind late on in the fourth quarter, and then scoring a field goal to win it in overtime. Steve, watch this game, mate.
Yes. That is.
Saints equality. And even with the struggles.
They're a very, very good team. Yeah, they run the ball extremely well, don't they, and stuff. They defend pretty well. Although, I thought the Redskins, for the, 57 minutes of this game were absolutely fantastic, and they were the better team, and I thought it was going to be a deserved win, especially when they went 31-15, or 16, sorry. 31-16, I thought that's pretty much game over, and, more fool me. The Saints found a way, and it wasn't like, in recent games, like I mentioned before, they've ran all over teams, but Drew Brees went back to being Drew Brees, 380-odd yards, 40-odd passing attempts. And
well, he just showed everybody that when he needs to, he's still got it.
And that's what I was about to say, is that we've all thought, the Saints now, the defensive team, and they run the ball, they'll manage the clock, and they'll beat your old school. And then they've just popped up and reminded us, actually saying, you know what, if we need to put the ball in the hands of this Hall of Fame quarterback, we're more than willing to do it. And that's how they got back into the game, big passes, a little tiny bit of luck with the juggle catch. But I think, I'm right in saying, Breeze went 12 for 12 in the final quarter. He completed everything, and they are a scary good team. If you can do, very, very good teams do that. Good teams and average teams don't. So it was a huge win, one that they had to have, I'm just, again, you can't help but be impressed by them.
Yeah, and I've been quite high on the Redskins all season, and I contend that, of all the 4 and 6 teams, they're probably the best. I mean, they've had an incredibly tough schedule.
They are, but after this game, they disgust me. That defense disgusts me by the fact that he's juggling a catch. There is 3 of you around him. Just smash him. He's not a defenseless receiver. He's running with it. You can hit him as hard as you want and probably pick that ball off. They didn't. And I saw that quite a few times in the games where it was arm tackles. Their tackling for that defense was terrible. But their offense, though, continues to be brilliant. And Kirk Cousins is actually better than what I think everyone even thought he was coming into this year. He's actually having a really good season. He just seems to be getting let down with big injuries, like Chris Thompson went out in this game, and that really hurt them, I felt.
And he got injured on the same play. They took 2 out. And
Cousins showed his mettle though as well, didn't he? Because he goes down, he hurts his shoulder, doesn't he? A couple of plays later, he makes that touchdown with the blown coverage, and there's 3 people coming at him, and he stands in the pocket and he makes the throw, and he's got that toughness, hasn't he, Steve?
I was going to say, that's the thing we've all said about him. I think we've all at times questioned his ability, sometimes his reading of the game, but he's got massive big balls. If nothing else, he'll stand there and he's happy to get hit. Sometimes that can be a disadvantage, but that's a tough. I know the guy's wide open because they've blitzed and he's broken coverage, but you know when you see three free blitzers coming at you, I'm going to get absolutely smashed there by one of these is going to get me. In the end, all 3 of them got him, and that takes some moxie. That takes something. A lot of quarterbacks would dump that away, throw it away, or even just
Especially after going down 2 plays before.
Exactly,
as well.
exactly. To get back up again and do it, I thought if nothing else, that's what he's got in him, and it's the reason why this summer someone's going to pay him $30 million a season. He's going to be absolutely loaded.
He can galvanise an offence, I think, and I think you've seen that not only in the way that he stands in the pocket, but when he has to tuck the ball and run, he goes shoulder first at defenders, like, and running backs and wide receivers and O-linemen, they love that because they know that he's willing to fight for the cause. But for me, the thing that I've enjoyed seeing from so far this season is the way he's spreading it around. I mean, look at these numbers. Doxson, 4 receptions, 81 yards. Crowder, 7 receptions, 72 yards. Vernon Davis, 3 receptions, 67 yards. Grant, 3 receptions, 59 yards. Then you got Thompson in the passing game. You got Paul, you got Perrine in the passing game, and Sprinkle as well. It's mental how comfortable he is with that receiving core and those running backs at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, put him on Jacksonville, for example, and Jacksonville might be one of the best teams in the league. And that's because he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, but you can win if everything else is around you. And I think he might even be better than that. Like I say, maybe we have paid him a bit of discredit. I still think at times he's prone to the odd mental lapse, mental breakdown. And even at the end of this game, he wasn't fantastic, to be fair, especially in overtime.
Yeah,
and
a couple of bad sacks he took.
Yeah, he took sacks he didn't take. At the end of the game, they really mismanaged the clock. I thought they weren't particularly good when, again, they could have won. But he's definitely got something about him, and I thought they were really unlucky to lose. But like I say, credit to the Saints. When you're at home and in that building and it gets close, I think as soon as it went to overtime, we all expected.
How do you think the Lattimore injury will affect the Saints,
I think it's massive. I think he's been brilliant. I also think the way the Redskins seem to pick that defence apart. We've been talking about how good that defence has looked, but Cousins picked it apart. And now with Lattimore gone, Lattimore just shut down receiver. However, I was reading today that he should be okay and he should actually be back for the next game, or at least only missing one game. That's what's coming
without
from
him. Their whole philosophy would change because he is the shutdown corner. They can afford to be a bit more creative with the safeties. They can have more blitzers because they just know he's fine on an island against anyone. I think if he goes out for any period of time, obviously you can cope with a game or two. It's not the end of the world. But if they were without that shutdown corner, they'd have to change everything. And we've seen the Saints safeties really struggle. Von Bell looks better, but he's not brilliant.
You don't want Kenny Vaccaro covering anyone.
You can't leave anyone. There's no one else in that roster I would trust one-on-one coverage as a corner. So I think that he is the most important place. He's the reason for me why that defense is what it is, because you can just leave him on an island with anyone. Whether it, in this game it was Doxson for a while, wasn't it? And just leave him.
Who was the guy? Who was the tackle that they picked up when they traded Cooks? Because that's looking like a tasty little thing now as well.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name.
I think it's the right tackle, isn't it?
I can't remember. Is it Ramczyk?
Yeah, I think it's Ryan Ramczyk. And that's looking like a really good trade now. Obviously, you get Cooks, you get a pick, and you get Ryan Ramczyk in there.
And then obviously you get Alvin Kamara later on in the draft. That's what they drafted really well.
Well, they brought a new GM, I think 2 years ago now, and that seems to have really changed their philosophy or something, or a new head of scouting or something like that.
Yeah, well, Sean Payton's the GM. He does everything. You know what I mean? There's a anomaly to GM, but it's Sean Payton's team. And like I say, we've all criticised them, and rightly so, I think, for the lack of defence and the lack of what they did. But and even at the start of the season, it was same old Saints.
We were calling for his job. We were calling for his job.
It was same old Saints, and they have the turnaround. And like I say, I'd say a very, very large proportion of it is because how good Marshall Lattimore is.
Flip side, I just want to spend a minute on Swearinger, the safety for the Redskins. Another player who's affecting football games at the moment for me. Now, I saw him obviously at close quarters last week when they played the Vikings and stuff. He really turned it up. He picked off Case Keenum twice towards the end of the game, gets another pick early. He's setting the tone for that Redskins defence from the safety position. He could be one of those stars over the next couple of years. Thoughts?
He's a ball hawk enough. He's always around the play, which is a great habit to have. The best safeties of all time have all had that. But I like they're a talented roster. Washington, they've got a lot going for them. Injuries have just really hurt them this year. They're 4-6, and they've played the Eagles, Rams, Raiders, Chiefs, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks, Vikings, Saints. That's ridiculous. Yeah. And they're still 4-6, and
they'll fancy the chances with the games that they've got.
I was going to say the Giants twice, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the Broncos. They'll have to win all 6 to go 6-10. Sorry, to be 10-6 to even have a chance. It's up beyond the realms. It's just really hard to do. But I think they're better than their record says. Yeah. There's some teams who are 4-6 in the league because they played piss all teams. Well, my team were good until 12 went down. But I agree, they're a much better team than the Packers right now. That's not hard. Everyone is. But they have been really unlucky. And I think if they can keep the core of this team together, and if they don't make the playoffs again, they're going to be picking in the teens in the draft. and go again. And I wouldn't be at all surprised because they've certainly got the talent. The issue they've got, of course, is can they keep who's going to be quarterback and forward the next season?
No problem. Okay, so we'll move it on then. We'll go to the Buffalo Bills 24, Chargers 54. Okay, so Nathan Peterman didn't have a great game, Jello. I think it's fair to say. It wasn't his best start.
Well, here's the thing. So you look at the first one. That's not on him. It's not his fault. I think it was the fullback bounced off his hands, gets picked off. Second one, it's on him. Third one, he gets hit, not on him. But it's time to like go. You might the warning signs are there. 4th and 5th, and you're just thinking, oh my god, this is like a nightmare. Pull him out. He looked awful. I don't get why you throw in a guy who's immobile against the best pass rushing duo in the league. Like, why are you sending him against Joey Bosa and Ingram?
Bosa destroyed that game. Destroys it. Bosa's the reason why he was that bad.
Yeah.
Again, I understand, and we spoke about it last week a little bit, why you might not think that Tyrod Taylor is the guy to go and win you a Super Bowl or get you to somewhere. You know, he's very off script. He doesn't stick to the play. He's very hit and miss. But you do, we said this last week, why would you start a 5th round rookie away from home against Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram when your line isn't particularly good, your receivers aren't brilliant, the best one goes down after 1 hit, which is unfortunate. We said this last week, didn't we? He gets the ball up quick, but who's he going to get it to? Well, the answer was the other team.
Yeah.
And do you remember Bruce Arians' quote where he says, like, mental scars can really impact quarterbacks at a young age, and it's the reason why he's never always thrown young guys in. That's a massive thing to him to come back from now.
That's not a scar, mate. He's been sliced in half.
That's Ryan Leafian.
That's a hard one to come back. He's the guy now forever who threw 5 picks on debut, and it could have been more. And I don't know why they didn't want to give Tyrod another game, whether it was, you know, it is what it is, and a bit of embarrassment. But
I think it's pretty impressive what Peterman managed to do, though, when you consider that he only threw the ball 14 times and 5 of them were picks.
He was pretty accurate. I mean, if they were winning...
He completed 6 passes and threw 5 picks. Yeah. So now, you know,
you could see if you completed 11 passes.
In this position, that's 11 passes, exactly.
Yeah,
11 and 14, at least he was caught.
I was watching the game and I felt so sorry. I
didn't feel sorry for him.
I thought the coach really needs to get him out of there. He did him no favours by throwing him back in again and again because he was lost.
But did you see Tyrod? I think it was after maybe the 3rd one, and he's the one talking in the huddle. And I thought that was brilliant from Tyrod Taylor. And the offensive coordinator and the head coach should be looking at that and going, yeah, we fucked up. That's the end of that experiment, because it has to be.
I mean, at least for a few weeks, you can't put him back in. How would you put him back in now? And again, I go through it. I'm not a huge Tyrod fan in terms of... But that was a really bad decision. And
we've been sat here for a couple of weeks and discussed this over the last month, let's say, and talked about the Bills being a well-coached side.
Yeah,
these are coaching decisions.
Yeah, for sure. Mate. And what I would say is that this is a thing that you do when your season's 6 and 10, or 5 and 9 or whatever, and you're out. They were they're still a wild card team now. They were 5 and 4 going to the game. They're now 5 and 5. That's an odd time to think this has all got to change now.
It's not even that what really surprised me, right? The Chargers have a soft middle of the defence. LaShawn McCoy actually run all over them. Joe Welsh can run. Tyrod Taylor. It's the only thing he can do.
He did run.
Why are you not using, even just strategically, this is a game for Tyrod Taylor anyway? So why are you taking him out? I mean, most of the stats here, I don't really care about because garbage time, the game was way over and most of them were done in the 4th quarter. But just strategically, against the Chargers, I want the guy who can run on them because the Chargers don't stop the run very well.
Well, let's focus a little bit on the Chargers as well, because, you know, at the end of the day, they did manage to put up 54 points. Phil Rivers, 251 yards, 20 of 32, 2 touchdowns. Melvin Gordon, 20 attempts, 80 yards, which isn't great. Eckler, 6 attempts, 40 yards. So they managed to run all over them, they managed to pass all over them. Obviously, they were helped by great field position a number of times, but anything there that makes you think, you know what, these Chargers are very dangerous?
Offense-wise, these are 4 and 6. I'm saying these might be the best 4 and 6 team. We spoke before about the Redskins. These could be in that mix as well. First of all, like I say, defensively is that pass rush is ridiculous. Joey Bosa is just a star. He is absolutely unbelievable, and I thought he might have been Defensive Player of the Year. And I don't know if he's going to live up. I think he's been playing that well. Like, he should be in the conversation record-wise. Maybe people aren't going to notice it.
Who are you thinking in that conversation, Steve?
Who would I put in that conversation? I think Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey off the top of my head have been amazing. Everson Griffin have been fantastic. Marshawn Lattimore should be in that conversation as well.
David Clowney's got more tackles for in the...
David Clowney's been really good, but the issue is...
Past the line of scrimmage.
It's very rare unless the team wins.
That you need tackles for a loss?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for.
He's the best run defender in the league, David Clowney. There's probably loads you won't forget him, but they're the ones that stick out to me. But what I would say is that it was a bit easy for him, which is it's like
you can only
exactly.
Put in front of him,
and he did, and he pressured him to death. And by the end, Peterman will be having nightmares with Joey Bosa for years to come because he was all over him. And the back end held up as well, didn't they? At least they were there to make the catches. Obviously, some of them I could have caught. I think.
Yeah, I think Keenan Allen got 2 touchdowns as well, big yardage.
I like Keenan. I think Keenan Allen's really, really good. It's the injuries, isn't it, that kill him? But like you say, 159 yards, and he gets open better than most receivers in this league. He's always open if you can find him, and Phil Rivers tends to do that. I like the Chargers. I think that they're well in the mix for the playoffs.
And they managed to rest Rivers as well. They brought in Clemens late on in the game. We obviously spoken about Peterman getting benched for Taylor. But someone who's very vocal, Richard Sherman, because he is, and that's what he does, on Twitter. So they bench my guy at Tyrod Taylor, and the guy they bring in has already thrown 2 picks with 10 minutes left in the first half. Great decision. And he went on to make a few little tweets about the Buffalo Bills during the evening, which is quite interesting. Actually, I've never really followed Sherman because I tend to stay away from football players' social media, and to be honest, most American football social media. No, because I don't want to know the results, and I don't want to know anything about it. But I had a good read through Richard Sherman, and he tweets like a coach. Like he analyses stuff and like a commentator and stuff as well, and I might keep a little eye on him.
He'll be good. He might be the next Romo in the future.
He could be, and you know what? When he was a Harvard guy, wasn't he? He's a very, very clever bloke. Stanford. He's a very, very clever bloke, and he could probably put his hand to anything.
Yeah, just my final thought on this. We thought the Bills would tank in the season at the start of the season. Turns out they just waited till the trade deadline. Yeah. We were right. They just waited till the trade deadline before they started to trade everyone away.
Do you think we're a bit good here? Because as soon as they traded Darius, they said it was all to do with culture and stuff, didn't they? Maybe it was, but it's hard. I think it's really, really difficult for a coach to stand in front of a team having made that massive of a fuck up, because it was obvious. Yeah. It was obvious that, I get that you want to blood a youngster. Blooding a youngster's fine. Not when the season is very much alive. You haven't been in the playoffs, your team, since the 90s. And if it's a good rookie, he's a fifth. There's a reason why he's a 5th round pick.
They must have seen something, though. They must have seen something. Now, the decision is bad because you never know what's going to happen on the Sunday. But they must have seen something,
What they see is they see Tyrod Taylor miss. They see the scheme that the throws are open and the throws are there, but instead Tyrod Taylor runs out of the pocket that's not collapsing. And that's what they see. So they go, we're losing because he's not executing our offensive game plan. We think Peterman can.
That we spoke about last week.
I don't think it is ego though, because they're getting beat anyway. They would lose in the last couple of games, so I don't think it's ego. I think it's if you're having Tyrod Taylor, it's the same as if you're having Doug Flutie. It's the same if you're having Tim Tebow. You've just got to let them do what they want, and you have to accept that you're going to win and lose by it. And I don't think any coach is willing to put their life on the line on that.
Peterman or Kaepernick?
Kaepernick was so bad, Blaine Gabbert got benched him twice. People need to remember that happened, because people seem to be forgetting that Blaine Gabbert got
people need to remember what he's done as well, though, Jano.
It's a bit of
that
both,
was
isn't it?
3 years ago.
The issue you've got with the Peterman thing is when they made... I'm fine if you want to make a coaching decision to change your quarterback. I'm not, in fact, no, I think it's a poor decision, but I kind of understand it, like Jeno, for the reason Jeno said. But to do it on the road against that pass rush when you're is a really, really quite... And we all thought, we didn't think it'd be that bad, but we all thought last week, that won't go very well. It went horrible. And I just hope for the kid that it doesn't absolutely kill him. Yeah. Because that can end quarterbacks.
Can do. Okay, talking about ending quarterbacks' careers, we're moving on to the Rams 7, Vikings 24, where Jared Goff's career was completely ended by the Vikings defence. Coming into the game, highest scoring offence in the league, averaging something like 33 points a game. Come up against the Rams, managed to get 7. Now, this game really did hinge on the fumble on the 1 yard line, to be fair. They started running it really well with Todd Gurley, then they managed to get the ball, we turned the ball over, and then you get down to the 1 yard line and there's a fumble there. But after that, it was literally one-way traffic, wasn't it?
Yeah, the main thing was they couldn't get Todd Gurley running.
35 yards, I think it was.
Yeah, 15 carries, or like 2 yards, just over 2 yards a carry, and that was the main reason Jared Goff is never going to throw a team to 50 on his own. He needs the play up. He needs the play action game and stuff. And when the Vikings weren't really respecting the run too much, then the play action never works. And it was surprising. I mean, we all picked the Rams. I think we all thought the Rams would
No, I picked the Vikings.
Oh, did you both change? Oh, I've been scum.
No, I thought it was the Vikings from the start.
Oh, right, I changed. And you changed.
I've had a bit of confidence in the boys on game day.
I very much didn't. But yeah, the Vikings defense is just unbelievable. Terence Newman, how old is he?
Mate, he's like 39 or something, maybe.
He's tackling Todd Gurley in the backfield.
My way. Not only that, he made 4 tackles on the day, all on his own, all solo tackles, 2 of which were tackles for loss in the backfield, and I think both of them might have been on Todd Gurley.
Do you
know why? He's Superman.
Is that what it is?
No.
He's got the Tom Brady diet, that's why.
He was boss, and this is the thing, he's normally our nickel guy, isn't he? So he normally comes in for certain plays and stuff, and you do see teams trying to pick on him a little bit, but he's got that experience and he knows that his team needed him and he stepped up big time.
It was just, the defence were all brilliant. We mention the names every single week and it's not a surprise how great they are, and they dominated the line of scrimmage. And they called them St. Louis, then the LA offensive line's been pretty good this year. Whitworth's been brilliant, they've done okay, but in this game they were just outdone. And when you're a timing-based offense like the Rams are, the second that you're off timing because the pressure's too much, the whole thing falls apart. They've got routes that take a while to develop. They've got little trick plays, schemes and stuff. It's hard to run any of those when when Everson Griffin's in your face or Daniil Hunter's right in front of your face.
And then you've got people like Harris coming in and making ridiculous amounts of tackles during the game and stuff like that. We were all over.
Yeah, it was a thorough victory.
See, what I think it was like, it reminds me of watching Vladimir Klitschko box. It was very close, and the Vikings are just dominating slightly, but they were just leaning on the Rams until the Rams collapsed, and that's what it felt like. They just leant on them until the defensive line gave way. Because this was it 7-0 to the fourth quarter, or was it the third?
No, it was the third quarter.
It was the third quarter, but it was like late, but it wasn't. It took a while for the Vikings to really run away with this game, and that's what it reminded me of. And then let's just get on to it. Adam Thielen's amazing. Adam Thielen's an all-pro. I reckon he'll just throw it to me, he'll run round everyone like Bow on the Super Bowl.
yeah. Bloody hell, that's an 80s Raiders reference there, mate, Bo Jackson. Bloody hell, man.
Good reference. Not Dwayne Bow. We're not talking about Dwayne Bow. I thought, I've never seen anyone break ankles like that. He without moving, he stood the steps, and cornerbacks and safeties absolutely shit their pants. They are terrified of him.
Brilliant, mate.
He catches everything. The one where he just catches everything. Case Keenum's in trouble a couple of times. He just launched it in his general vicinity, and more often than not, he's going to catch it. The touchdown is phenomenal, and it looks easy, but
he has to beat one man.
But he beats him by miles.
Yeah. Do you remember when you used to go swimming and you used to get the 5 metre flags? That's how far away he was from the guy. I mean, I've seen guys 5 metres. I don't even know why I started swimming. He was just 5 metres away from him.
I've seen people be open off blown coverage. That wasn't a blown coverage. He is just genuinely beats his man. He jinxed him on his skin. That guy's ankles might need checking and get an X-ray on them.
But then you've got the Vikings run offense as well, which at the moment I think something like 5th best in the league or something. We put that like 1,200 yards up. Obviously we had Dalvin Cook, I think he was the top rusher when he went out in week 4, maybe 600 yards.
Yeah, that was the day my fantasy season went over as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Latavius Murray, Jared McKinnon, these have been fantastic. Murray 95 yards on the day, 2 touchdowns again. He's looking like the Murray who was playing a couple of years ago. Like
he's just a goal line threat anymore, and he's neither of them terrify you.
Just the goal line.
No, he's not. He's not. Neither of them terrify you. If I'm honest, I don't think they would. But they constantly get fall forward, so they might get 3 yards. But so then Case Keenum isn't in 2nd and 12. He's in 2nd and 7, and that's a huge difference because he's still Case Keenum at the end of the day. They just wear, like Jenna, I think it's a great point. The Vikings just wear you down. We saw it when we saw it live at Wembley. That game, at Twickenham, that game was close for a while, and then by the end they just looked so much better. And it is, I think a lot of it is just because they just batter you. They're a very physical team. Every tackle's a big tackle. And by the end of the day, your offensive line are just goosed.
This is the thing as well, our offensive line, we were under so much stress last season. Our offensive line was absolutely terrible. They're, for me, one of the top 10 offensive lines in the league right now. They're creating holes all the time for the running backs. They're always seeming to win the battle in the trenches. And as such, they're making life easier for Case Keenum because he's not a bad quarterback. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. And he's probably just got there To be fair to him, like, you know, he was bottom end, wasn't he? But with a little bit of time, a little bit of space, and a little bit of love as well, he's managing now. And to be fair, an absolutely world-class receiver makes a massive difference.
I think he's got 2. I think
I do.
But
I think that feeling, Cass, the one I was really big on, was the one where he was wide open and Keenan misses him. He missed him by over 5 yards, but Phelan still catches it. I mean, it should have been a touchdown throw, but Phelan still catches it and just sitting there going, mate, you've got a bevy of riches here. What? This Vikings team scares me because there's only one team I can see beating them, and it's the Eagles, and that's the only. It genuinely could be a Super Bowl with the Vikings in Minnesota.
Yeah, hopefully so. And then here's the thing: we're going into it with I think it's a top 6, or top 5 defense, or a top 5 offense, or something. Yeah. And when you can marry the two of them together, good things can happen. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on then to the Detroit Lions 27, the Chicago Bears 24. Poor old Connor Barth.
I felt poor old Mitch Trubisky. That's Mitch Trubisky's, you know, that's your pressure drive, isn't it? Can you get your team back into field goal rate? Was it a minute? You got the ball after a minute, and he does so well. Gets up to the line,
scrambles through everything.
Yeah, and then they missed
20 yards on a scramble. Absolutely brilliant.
That field goal might be the worst field goal. Like, it was. I mean, it was. Usually it's like, and it's no good, but this was like, that's no good. On the second he kicked it.
I forget what the words were, but it's like, yeah. It's like, I think he might have said that didn't have a chance or something like that. The commentator.
It was usually, you know, it's close. Is he going to get there? We're going to talk about Blair Walsh later, and it's mate, no good, no. And this was like. Oh, fuck. It's like the second he kicked it.
It started about 20 yards wide and stayed 20. I mean, it was straight. It was straight as you want to hit it. It was just over here somewhere.
I think he said afterwards, as they were cutting him, that his foot hit the ground. Yeah, we know. We know. Yeah, we saw that.
Kick the ball next time.
I think he missed 5 out of 16 or something, and all of them have been over 40 yards or something like that. So we're not even talking over 50s a lot of the time. If it's over 40 yards, he's gone. And he is gone.
He's going to go.
But flip side, it was good for Prater, wasn't it? Because I think Fox cut him in the Broncos a few years before, so to get a little bit of revenge.
He's money. We don't talk about kickers enough, but he is absolute money, Matt Prater. Yeah. So, fine margins. There's a lot of teams this season who wish they had a better kicker. There's not many going around, is there? And that was, like I say, a big difference. And you tend not to talk about kickers unless they're shit. So when someone's getting mentioned on the show, they've probably had a nightmare. And the Bears are 3-7, and I feel so, they've been in plenty of those games.
You almost said you feel sorry for them. Did you back out of that statement?
I feel sorry for some of them. Some of them it's self-inflicted, and obviously they're the Bears, so I'm not a huge fan anyway. But they've been in a lot of games. Like they've been in, like within a yard of scoring, or a yard of keepers out the end zone, or miss field goal. But it's pretty good for them, to be honest. Yeah. Because they get a high draft pick and they can sack John Fox, who's awful. Get a good coach in there with a pretty decent defensive roster, an okay offensive line, and a new quarterback. The skill positions. I
think the skill positions they need a bit of an upgrade on. To be
wide
fair.
receiver,
They need like 3 wide receivers.
All the receivers. Get any receiver you can
get.
But
running backs, right? You know, you got Howard, you got Cohen, who's electric, like absolutely amazing talent at the moment and stuff. So these guys are putting up numbers.
Dontrell Inman's your number 1 receiver, and he only just signed about 2 weeks ago from the scrapping. That tells you what you need to know. But
Wright's probably the only real. Is he even a name?
Yeah, and then obviously they drafted Adam Shaheen, who looks like he could be something. So they're getting where they need to be.
And apparently White exists. Apparently he exists somewhere near there.
What did you make of Trubisky, mate? Because I thought that he passed from the pocket a lot more than I've seen. We've mentioned that everything that he does seems to be on the move.
I haven't seen anything from him to make me think this guy's got it. I see some throws you go, oh, that's not bad, and there's some pocket stuff, but ultimately I think all he can do is throw on the run. And I don't think he's going to be anything in the NFL. And we're going to watch this back in 5 years, and they're going to be the biggest idiot in the world. I'm not buying anything I've seen from him right now. I mean, to be fair to him, who's he throwing it to? But all I think he can do is run. I think most of his plays seem to come on the run. That's when most of you looking and going, oh, look what he's just done there. Like, for that final drive, his run was like, oh, that was incredible. It's like, yeah. But he's not a running back, he's a quarterback. I want to be seeing him making throws that win games. That way I can put my bank on that's going to be happening week in, week out.
He's a number 2 pick in the draft. The guy on the other side of the field is a number 1 draft pick. And obviously he's been in the league a long, he's a veteran now. But even early Matt Stafford looked better than what Mr. Trubisky is now. And he developed into what he is now, which is, you know, again, he was really
So do you think there's nothing going for Trubisky in Chicago?
I thought it was a bad pick when they made it. I didn't get it. I thought it was an odd one. The thing is, if you're going to pick him, play to his strengths, and I agree. You've got to get him on the run more and stuff, and he can do it. I just think eventually in the NFL you're going to have to throw from the pocket. You're going to have to. Even the best running quarterbacks in the league have to throw from the pocket. Cam Newton isn't great, but he still manages sometimes. Russell Wilson can do it. I just don't know. Listen, again,
Still early days.
Of course, let's see him with a better coaching staff. Because John Fox is a dinosaur. You know, he wants to win 10-9 every game. You know, with a defensive touchdown and a field goal.
Let's see what he does when he actually has an offensive coordinator and a team who believe in offense. I mean, we've seen the difference in Jared Goff when someone come in and went, there's this thing called offense. We're going to try it, lads. Let's see what happens.
We've got this running back here. We might use him to make your life a little bit easier as well, lads.
Jordan Howard, 125 yards from 15 attempts. He's there, and they did use him, and that's why they kept the game close. I think he could be really, really good. I think he is really, really good, but I don't know. I think they just need a new philosophy. But the issue is, I wouldn't be surprised if their defensive coordinator, Nick Fangio, becomes head coach this year. He's been so good for so long, and people don't really talk about him because the Bears are a bit, Bears. But he's really, really good. He's got that defence playing really well. Okay,
and Matt Stafford will be the guy who's most gutted because I'm sure he is. He's got something in his contract about how many 300-yard games he's got, and he managed to pass for 299 yards in this game. So I think he'll be absolutely gutted.
Again, if the Lions could run. Well, if the Lions could run,
to 65 on the day.
If the Lions could run, they'd be amazing.
If the Lions could win, so first note I wrote was Lions are soft against the run. Everyone can run on them, and they can't run. And that's the worst thing because you can't control the clock and you're relying for Matt Stafford's heroics.
Or a missed field goal. Yeah,
157 yards was the difference if you take away, the thing he ran for 222 and Lions ran for 65. That's the difference in the running game to highlight your point with some fast math.
The Lions are, the 6-4, they're very much in the mix for a while. They're not going to win the division, I don't think, but they're in a wild card race. But that's the thing with Geno's right in that they're going to have to rely on close games. They've got the quarterback to rely on close games and they've got the kicker to rely on close games. But when you constantly gamble, one of them's going to bite you in the arse. And that's what keeps happening to them all the time. They were really, really close against the Falcons, but ultimately lost. It didn't work. This one, they should have been at least in overtime, if not for a bad kick. They're built because you say they can't control the clock because they're too easy to run on and they can't run at all. It's going to be, imagine that's hard to win 3 games in January, like that. You're going to have to, say the road to the Super Bowl is, they're a wildcard team, so say they have to play maybe the Rams, and then you've got to play maybe the Vikings or the Saints or the Eagles, and then another one of those teams, or the Seahawks might be in there. It's hard to beat all those 3 in a close game, and that's why ultimately I think they might get there, they might come up short, and they just need, whatever their draft pick is next year, offensive line and running back, and they'll be a really good team. I think they'll scare me next year.
Okay, well, we'll move on then. We'll do the old spin around the league and we'll start with the Monday night game. Atlanta Falcons 34, Seattle Seahawks 31.
Speaking of missed field goals, it's the player miss project. You're very.
I've known it, I've lived it, I've seen it, and I've done it, and I'm happy.
That's Seattle living it, mate. Again, Seattle, another team who like to keep it close, and when you keep it close, you need a good kick, and they've got one. And
this was only 52 yards, wasn't it? I say only. I could kick the ball 7. You know what? I play foot golf at the weekend. It's quite hard to kick the ball dead far and where you want it. Because it's like when you play 5-a-side, I can knock it past the feet.
Just volleying it far.
But I was trying to hit. No, we weren't volleying. I was trying to hit the ball, and to be fair to us, we were playing on a motorbike race course. So we had to go from like grass across the road to more grass. And what would happen is, because it's Aintree, it's dead windy basically. There's no trees anywhere in Aintree. I don't know why. They probably cut them all down. Apologies to build houses. So you kick the ball, and it will literally land on the road, and then the ball will just blow back past the tee, and you're like, great. Par 4s were taking me like 9 to get up there. So in the end, I just had to knock everything along the floor. But I forget where I'm going with this, so I'm going to start with the Seattle Seahawks.
What I would say is that to miss you can miss a 52-yard field goal, wide left or wide right. Usually you see a sail past. It didn't even get there. It looked, when I was watching the highlights, and I'll be honest, I watched on Game Pass the next morning,
on your phone,
and it shows the clock's like 2 minutes to go. And I was thinking, this must be, as it's going through, I thought, this must go in, and then there must be a quick touchdown next, and it just goes, how's that missed? Because it was perfect. If you'd have paused that button as it leaves his foot, you'd have went and got a drink, and you'd have thought,
Yeah.
It was in.
And he's got a leg, like a big leg.
What happened there? It's bizarre. I don't often like it, but Seattle are really sloppy. That's what I took from this game very quickly. I know we want to move on, but too many penalties, too really odd coaching decisions.
What did you think of the one before half-time? Where
the
they
fake
went,
field goal?
I mean, apart from it being the worst fake field goal attempt ever, I actually understood the decision. I thought the decision was sound.
I don't know. I think if it's 4th and 1 and you want to get a yard, just keep Russell Wilson on the pitch, on the field. If you're that desperate, because it's not.
That's why I thought it was sound, because they just weren't expecting it. Because you would just do what you've just said.
Yeah,
but it was never on. Like, I forget the guy who made the tackle, and you're just thinking, don't throw it, go yourself, because he's tackled before you've thrown the ball. He did well to catch the friggin' ball. And you know what, here's the thing, it was time was running down at the end of the second quarter, and they were receiving the ball in the third, and they were only 7 points behind. So that gives your defence a bit of a lift anyway, to go, we actually believe in you, and it also gives your offence a bit of a lift. It's like, it's fine, it's only 7 points, we know that you can get that back. I don't know where he's got that from, because that offence hasn't been great all season, but for me the call was fine. But there was other things that went wrong through.
I get the call of going for a fake field goal if you're trying to score a touchdown. But I don't think that's never going for a touchdown, because that's impossible to be. Who are you throwing it to? You're throwing it to the line. Are you expecting him to run? Is that the plan? Is catch and run? Nah, you were going for a yard. You mean that wasn't a touchdown type play? You know, if it was one of those ones where he's clear, the guys.
Well, the guys are just not fast enough to get through all those bodies.
What are you going to do?
As well.
Yeah. So I thought it was really strange. And the challenge, like, you know, he wasted his time out, which ultimately means Blair Walsh has got to take a 50-yarder. Doug Baldwin dropped the ball. He just dropped it on the floor. The whole world could see it. Pete Carroll's a really good coach, but I think he really cost his team. And fair play to Atlanta to go into Seattle and score 34.
And they started brilliantly as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we've spent so much time on them, fuck them. We're going to go to the New England Patriots, Oakland Raiders. Come on, John.
No, basically
Best offense in the league, doing it again.
Yeah, no, to put this simply, this is what, if Derek Carr didn't get injured, this is what exactly would have happened in the AFC last season if the Patriots would have played them. Brady picked their team apart. It was with
just don't let anything go, do you? You just can't let anything go.
No.
You just won it anyway. Does it really matter?
Yeah, no,
is there someone going, the Raiders would have beaten you and it's just done your head in for a year? You just won it, get over it.
Yeah, no, it's just and I've just thought that. And then the other thing is, Brandon Cooks is amazing. Brandon Cooks is so good. I mean, he should have had another 60-yard touchdown, but Brady missed him. That's how good he is. It was easy win for the Patriots. On the good side for the Raiders, Marshawn Lynch run the ball well. The game was just gone, and their wide receivers can't catch.
Yeah. Talk to me about the Patriots defense, because sneakily over the last 5 weeks they've held teams to low points.
It's because the Patriots offense keeps going off on teams, and the teams have to abandon the run and throw. And Joe, as we said, you asked me how the Patriots would beat them, and I said if they stick Gilmore on Crabtree and Cooper on Butler, they'll win. If they go the other way around, Raiders have a chance. They didn't. They done. Patriots put it on the right receiver against the right cornerback, and it was comfortable. They never looked like doing anything.
So this one was won on defense with the matchups.
Yeah, with just well matchups.
Tom, yeah. I very quickly, I just think, even if you're down by a couple of scores, carry on running the ball.
Yeah.
Because keep the ball out Tom Brady or he's going to blow you out, you know what I mean? Just even if it isn't the end of the world to be down by 14 against these and you can still run, the second you start throwing on them,
you're down by 21, 28.
He's playing, this is his best ever season. For me, it's his best ever season.
It's up there with 07.
It's better.
It's better. He's playing better. His weapons aren't as good. There's no Randy Moss, but it's fucking depressing.
The defense isn't as good. That's what's the difference. But he's playing better than I've ever seen him.
Okay, we sort of. I don't want to spend any more time on the Patriots, so we're going to talk about probably the most exciting team in football at the moment. Philadelphia Eagles beating the Dallas Cowboys 37-9.
An absolute arse kicking, wasn't it? It wasn't close at any stage of the game. Dak looked the worst quarterback on the field, which we probably would never have expected. Obviously, Wentz just outplayed him. Some of Dak's interceptions were pretty bad. They killed him.
I mean, he was just missing guys.
Bad throws. They were just bad throws, and Wentz didn't do that. They had the running game going, whether it was, there's like 5 running backs every time.
There's more, I think there's 90.
Honestly, the whole team just has a go at carrying the ball, I think. So Jai has the big run, we see got Blunt, we see Clemens, we see...
Jai is hilarious when he gets into space and then just gets slowly reeled in.
He's really, really tired, quite, very, very fast. Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere. Any other running back in
that
the league...
lactic acid just builds up in his legs. You go, oh, I can't run anymore.
He very much runs in quicksand. It was a shame, but, you know, Britain's there, Jai, but they just dominated them in every aspect of the game.
Mate,
very quickly,
the Eagles
Alshon Jeffrey, though, can I speak about Alshon Jeffrey? The Alshon Jeffrey touchdown catch is ridiculous, like how he holds on to it. They just, and like I say, the defence, Alfred Morris actually got away with a few times, some pretty decent runs, but every so often he's got absolutely levered in the backfield.
I mean, we've spoken about the front seven of the Eagles a few times. They completely ran this game.
Yeah, so it's Curry, it's Cox, Bennett, sorry, there's tons of them, and they're just too good. And they rotate in and out because there's so many of them. They're always fresh, and they're built to it in January. They are very much built to it in January. 8
members of their defensive line, they'll just rotation. They take 4 out and put another 4 in and go, we're still better than your offensive line. And they are. What are you going to do?
Their backup line would be starting lines for a lot of teams in this league. That's how much depth they've got.
Okay, Jero, talk to me about Tennessee Titans 17, Pittsburgh Steelers 40, mate.
I think there's just 2 teams in the AFC, and our Steelers are what we all wanted them to be. They're going to be the real... They're the force. They probably look the strongest in the AFC, I think, in terms of talent. And this game just got away from Tennessee late on very quickly. Mariota had a bad game, in my opinion. And I think something I said about the Titans, I've always said, I don't trust their coaching staff. And Dick LeBeau's, we're talking about dinosaurs, Dick LeBeau's a dinosaur, and that's why their defence is terrible and got picked apart by the Steelers. Okay,
Antonio Brown, 150 plus yards as well. On Dick LeBeau's defence, I think it was 3 touchdowns, 150 plus yards. He might be one of the stars in the NFL, Steve.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for 84, lads. That's covered 2 TVs tip of the week. 84 for the pig. He's good in. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Roethlisberger had another good game as well.
Yeah, I think he's been okay. He's been fine. He's been very up and down, but listen, it was just easy. It was very, very easy.
When Ben plays well, he calls out plays himself.
Yeah.
I think nowadays more than when he's following the scheme and stuff. When he's seeing those matchups and realising before the snap what's going on, he can absolutely beat teams pre-snap and he was doing that against the Titans because he's seen that defence.
Antonio
Brown trained against that defence for a large proportion of his career.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. There was nothing new, and Antonio Brown caught it with his head. That's what you need to know about this game. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Saxonville 19, Cleveland 7, Steve.
Yeah.
Take away from that, apart from Cleveland, poo-poo.
Cleveland, very poo-poo. Jacksonville, quite poo-poo. But very, very good on defence. Defence, good. And like I say, they get their customary defensive touchdown. It was close, but I never ever once thought that Cleveland were going to win. You know what I mean? It was always... When is the big play coming? When's the interception coming, or when's the tackle coming? Ultimately, it comes. Jacksonville, I wish they had half a quarterback. Anyone from 20 upwards in the league would be fantastic for them. Because Blake Bortles is poo-poo. He is poo-poo. And I just really wish if they had Andy Dalton or Kirk Cousins or even Eli Manning now who's playing.
Give them Tyler Taylor.
Yeah, because their defense. It's so good. I'm in love with Jalen Ramsey. I think he's amazing on and off the field. I love it. You know, I mentioned before, Claire Campbell, there's Yannick Ngakoue, there's tons of them. But ultimately, we know where this is leading. It's leading to a division win, first round of playoffs, wild card team, and Blake Bortles is going to shit the bed. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's just such a shame because defensively they are so good.
I know you're saying, but I think they might get a little bit further because who's the wild card team going to be? It could be someone who's 7-9 the way it's going.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Okay, other side of the ball, Jen, I just want to speak about it a little bit, and I want your opinion on this more than anything else. Now, imagine the biggest tunnel in the world that you've ever heard of. In fact, imagine a tunnel that goes around the world. Cleveland Brown ever going to get out of this tunnel? Can they ever see the light at the end of this tunnel? How far round the world in this tunnel are they?
The part where there's no offensive weapons, wherever that is, there's no offense.
The defense isn't terrible. The defense, it's got some good players on it, and you know, Myles Garrett's going to be a great player. So there's something there, but the offensive terrible. I never understood why Hugh Jackson was seen as this offensive saviour. His offense wasn't that much better Cincinnati than Jay Gruden's was, so I didn't get why he was this revolutionary guy, because I remember him at Oakland being terrible. They just need to blow it up again, which is the worst thing you need to say about it.
Is this around the world in 64 seasons to continue?
I don't know. I think maybe when this show's making so good and they're all making proper money, that maybe then.
You mean they've got no chance? That's what you're basically saying.
I said maybe
that's what we're waiting for.
They'll win 2 games.
Very, very quickly, you know, when you're not very good at evaluating quarterbacks, it might bite you on the arse. Because Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson, he could have had both of them.
Talking about not very good when you haven't got a quarterback, we'll move on to the Baltimore Ravens, 23, Green Bay Packers. 0 points at home. No point at home. Did you like me segue there? I thought that was quite good.
No. But you're not wrong. Brett only looked really good in pre-season.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, Jenna, what did you think?
Brett only does not look good in the season.
Is he poo-poo?
He is poo-poo.
I thought he was piss.
He was poo-poo. Is that... I just, you know what, the defence, last week the defence didn't help him out at all, you know, we got rolled over. This week's the way around, the defence played really well, because he kept giving the Ravens the ball back, and we kept stopping them,
The garbage Ravens.
Ravens offense, yeah, it was just checked down to Danny Woodhead. I think their 2 reading receivers or targets were Woodhead and Collins, which goes to show you a lot about Joe Flacco, but that's all they needed to do. The defence is really good, I'll give them that, but Brett Hundley is absolutely poo-poo. So his quick throws, go to the cornerbacks, or he holds the ball forever, and then that goes to the quarterback, or even worse, he holds the ball forever and just doesn't throw it. And then, you know what, I'll just take a sack, and then you strip sack it.
This guy's been playing Minesweeper on his surface when Rodgers has been playing. He's not been watching Aaron Rodgers, he's been playing Minesweeper.
No idea,
that's what he's been doing.
He's been sitting there just going, I'm never getting in this game. So Woody Rodgers has got it, I'll get a couple of Super Bowl rings, life will be good, and then someone to... You've got to play now. And he's like, what?
He holds the ball. And you know what? I'm not. If you're going to hold the ball, that's fine. But he holds it there.
He holds it like a beacon of light.
Like a flame to him. Just see this. It's yours. Come and get it.
I bet you any money he's great at Madden.
Yeah, probably. I like the idea of him just standing there, spinning the ball on the finger. Can you get this? Like my dad used to do today. Oh, dang it! Okay, well, we'll move it on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30, Miami Dolphins 20. Jenna, what did you make of this one?
I'm fuming because I said on the show that Tampa Bay would win. Tampa Bay won. I just forgot to change the thing over. That would have got me 10 wins, and now I'm just angry. But other than that, this game just doesn't matter. I don't care about either of these teams. Jay Cutler went down with a concussion after throwing 3 interceptions. Who's arsed? Let's hope we never see him again.
You know bad things are for me. I'd have Ryan Fitzpatrick right now for those. He's all right. He's not great, but he's a good backup.
How the mighty have fallen, by the way.
I know, you're going to buy into what the Jets did, mate.
Listen, I don't want him to start. I would never give him any money. He's a rookie. He's on a whatever contract, but he's not the worst backup. And no, he played better in this game than Jameis Winston's played in the last 6-7 games.
Yeah. Okay, and you know what? They get the win because of it, so fair play to them. Probably the surprise...
Miami poo-poo.
Yeah. Probably the surprise of the week for me, certainly anyway, is that Andy Reid's offense isn't very good anymore. And I know it's been coming for a couple of weeks and stuff, and I think, there's a lot more tape on this offense now, isn't there? I think that's what it comes down to. We're not seeing the personnel groupings, or people understand the personnel groupings a lot more from this offense. But the New York Giants to win it, 12 points to 9 in overtime, keep that Chiefs team to 9 points. Still really surprising for me, Jano.
I watched this just before we started filming this, and I was saying, like, you see straight away, Alex Smith threw that shovel pass, picked off. Teams have seen that now. They're aware of it. This is why you try and hold stuff back to the playoffs. Everyone's incorporated all these fun plays that the Chiefs had. Every other team's incorporated now, and defenses know how to stop it. Other than that, why have you got your tight end throwing 70-yard bombs?
Yeah.
I mean, the wide receiver was open. He's open for by about 20 yards, but he missed the throw by about 20 yards. Why have you got your tight end throwing bombs? It baffles me. I was just like, it was a close game. Just get down the field, get the field goal and win. It just baffled me.
Yeah, it was poor. It was really poor. I'm with you. I think they look like they've been scouted. They look like they've been figured out. But Damon Harrison, just knew that ball was coming. He just sounded like that. And like I say, it was 9-all, wasn't it? Yeah. And I get, we're the fun Chiefs, and we do jet sweeps and all this. But you don't need to do it. At that point in that game, Eli Manning's doing nothing. He's doing absolutely, he has one bomb at the end, which is an amazing catch. But you just go and kick the field goal and trust your defense. And yeah, they got a bit too clever for their own good. And And like I say, Travis Kelce, albeit it looked good as a throw, in terms of it went miles really, really fast. It was like Conor Barth's kick. It went miles really fast in the complete wrong direction. And that I think the Chiefs they're a bit like last season's Vikings, where they started 5-0. A few injuries, teams kind of cottoned on what we're doing, and then all of a sudden they're just another average.
Okay, so next season, if they follow on that Vikings trajectory, they'll be the best team in the year in the league. Arizona Cardinals 21, Houston Texans 31. Steve, talk to me about this one.
Do I have to?
No.
Okay.
Jano?
It's just, who cares? Who cares?
Playing Gavin v Tom Savage, that's what the NFL needs in its life.
He was so mean to Tom Savage.
Have you watched them play?
Yes.
He played okay. He played okay.
I love a Tom Savage right now.
No. Honestly, no, I don't want him. He's a statue as well, yeah. Listen, the run game helped him a bit, didn't it? The poor lad got injured as well, didn't he? Foreman. He's probably one of the best games of his life. He helps to win the game and then he's out for the season. The Texans have just had no luck. And the Cardinals, imagine getting 31 points against this poo-poo team.
Yeah, it's like Adrian Peterson when the Cardinals, he looked good in the first week and everyone's like, oh, Adrian Peterson. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, he may be old. He may be a bit long in the tooth. And that's what we're seeing, I think.
I'm not counting him out just yet. Cincinnati 20, Denver Broncos 17. This is one I don't really care about, to be honest.
The Denver dominated the game in terms of yards, in terms of everything. The Cincinnati had a 100-yard return, which the lad dropped
it. What's he doing?
Yeah, he's just very, very tired. and he luckily he recovered it.
Yeah.
But
He recovered it.
He recovered himself, because that could have been an all-time shit the bed.
Up there with the Sean Jackson not crossing the line, and you see that over and over and over again.
And then there's a late fumble, Fontes Burfict forces a fumble to fair on Anderson, and that's the game there. It's those 14-point swing. Also again, Brock Osweiler poo-poo.
Yeah.
Very poo-poo.
I don't think he's going to be playing next week, is he?
It's,
not the rumour.
But Lynch was the backup, and they said that, and then after the game, half through the game, they had a touchline reporter who said they didn't think Lynch was a viable option. Yeah. I was like, well, why is he backup then? Because Trevor Siemian, although not great, is a capable quarterback.
Well, we're talking about like bad quarterback rooms and bad quarterback management. Look at the Broncos. This is terrible. They drafted Lynch in the first round. He got beat out twice by Siemian. They tried to pay Brock Osweiler. That's just a terrible idea. Now they've got Osweiler back playing. It's terrible. Trevor Siemian's kind of shit the bed, and they don't even think Paxton Lynch is good enough to get in the team now. How bad is that quarterback room? And you're looking around the league, and how many teams seem to have this terrible quarterback room? They're all garbage. That's why when people fume at people like Andy Dalton getting paid, this is why. This is the alternative. If you mess it up, you end up with Brock Osweiler as your quarterback. 5
rookies were inactive in this game for the Broncos. That was before. I saw that before the game as well. I'm not sure. Is John Elway a good gem? He might be good in free agency, but I'm not particularly sure. He's a very good drafter because he's had a lot of busts. Monte Ball, hello. He's probably watching this.
Okay, well, if you've enjoyed the show, we've been sponsored by Poo Poo today. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell all your NFL-loving friends about the show. Thanks very much. Don't forget to comment, leave us your thoughts below. Still get back in touch with you. I will when I remember, and Jenna doesn't really get involved. But
I do on Twitter.
Well, there you go. It's absolutely fine. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Cover 2. In fact, it will be a very special Thursday night football preview show that we will look ahead to the Vikings, Lions, Chargers, Cowboys and Giants, Redskins. So tune in for that later on today.